All right, so we're gonna spy on another logger right here. I happen to know him well. Uh, he's on the same road that we're logging on, but they're about a mile off of that road that we happen to be coming in on. We're going on down past them a good bit, so I got out of my loader this afternoon and put the drone up in there, and I decided I'd fly over there to see if I could kind of figure out where they were from the air. So I took and I actually flew past them. I thought I was on the right road, but I wasn't exactly on the right road. I went past them about 3,000 feet, and then when I spun the drone around, I saw them right there where they were. So I came back. They're like 6,200 feet from where we're at. That is a 437D loader, John Deere, pull through delimber, trailer mounted loader, and they cut with a rubber tire cutter, and then of course skid with John Deere skidders too. I think they're currently running one right now. There's another one sitting off to the right over there on the right hand side of the screen, but they log like we do, same kind of timber. Actually cut for the same company that we cut for. They just run their processing the way that they process here is a little bit different than the way that we do it. Most everybody that's here in our area, they do it like this right here with a trailer mounted loader and pull through delimber. There's a few who run processors in our area. You got to have the right combination to run like we do, and one of the reasons it works for us is because there's three of us that are brothers that are doing it. Derek doing the cutting with the track cutter, and then Kevin on the processor, and of course me loading with the track loader. Then we got Chad. He's the only non-family member out there in the woods besides the truck drivers. But I flew over here and wanted to watch them run for a little bit. I actually visited them over there the other day while we were moving machines over before we got started logging on our track that we're on. The tracks are about basically the same. The wood in this area is you get in spots where it's good wood, and in a lot of spots where it's not so great a wood. And the reason why is it's just primarily the way the ground is over there. A lot of sandstone rock in the ground, a lot of sand there too. You can see their L model skidder coming into play right here now, bringing the pull in, dropping it on the loader. Then he's going to head back, go back and get another drag. When he goes back, I kind of follow him with the drone here and chase him along there. But I've just a kind of a cool story. I went over there to see him the other day, and his name is Mr. Alfred, and I wanted to talk to him a little bit. I want to get him on camera. I've talked to him before about doing it, and he's game on doing it. But Mr. Alfred, I spent a lot of time on his job back in the day when I graduated high school. He was a guy that I looked up to a lot. Utmost respect for him and for his crew. And when we were rained out, anytime we were rained out, I would try to find where they were. And if they were working, I would go and hang out with them. And the reason I hung out with them was to learn. Their cutter operator, his name is Terrell. He's still running the cutter. He's been running it for 30-something years now. And I actually filmed with him and filmed him cutting. And I would go back on an 8mm camera now. I would go back, and that's when I was cutting, watch the films on how he cut and what he did, how he laid his trees and all that. You can see what he's got laid out right here. But I learned a lot from Mr. Alfred and his guys back in the day when we were just trying to learn, trying to get going, And But just a very cool guy. I'll get him on film for y'all. So just enjoy the rest of this video right here. I don't think I'll need a dog. That deer couldn't have went too far. I got one. There's one laying right over there. I got. That deer shouldn't really got off this field. If any, I didn't see where it went when it went around that curve in the trees. Let's walk. So it's laying right there off the edge of the field. And I didn't think it went off the field much there. Let's see. It's right here. So to kind of bring you up to speed on what's going on the hunting part of this video, the feeder down there that I zoom in on, I had my Canon G7X. This is course after work, and we're working about 40 miles from the house right now. So I was able to leave the woods, when we quit. I ended up getting in the shooting house right around about 4, I guess. There was nothing on the field when I got there. Wind was perfect and everything like that. Not long after I got there, the deer started coming out like you see here in the video. But the feeder down there is 200 yards from where I was sitting in the shooting house. And the camera that I'm using is a G7X, and I just wanted to see what the zoom would actually do on it. And it does pretty good for it to just be a point and shoot camera. And that's kind of my go-to camera. That's the main camera that I use all the time is a G7X. And probably the next camera that I use other than that is going to be the drone. I film with the drone a good bit too. But so those deer hanging around down there, and it was starting to get kind of dark, and some of those started kind of coming. And I said, I'm going to go ahead and probably shoot one of the biggest does when they get down here to me. And I had set the camera's actually sitting in the window right there and filming out at those deer. And I said, well, this won't be too bad. They're going to sit right here. Well, by the time everything was kind of getting situated there, and I'm sitting here watching on the screen right now, that one larger doe started taking off walking. I was like, dadgummit. So I actually I wasn't sitting exactly right to shoot when she got to my right a good bit. So I actually had to pull the gun out of the window and stick it out the window that's facing the other way. That's the reason why you didn't see it. And then, of course, you hear me shoot. I drop her. There's deer all over the field. There's deer that you can't see over to my right. So you hear me shoot. And the deer some of them scatter. You see one run across, and you see the ears on another one come out right there. Well, I have another one that keeps kind of hanging around. You listen, you'll hear me bolt the gun and get another bullet in there. And I stick the other one, the empty one, in my pocket because I'm saving these because these are those 257 Weatherby's. They're not cheap. So these will be, I'll reload these again. There was another deer sitting where you couldn't see it. So what I did was I pulled the gun back out of that window on the right and stuck it back in the window in front, but the deer was like right on the edge of the right window. So I shot it left-handed and put it on there. And then you see that deer when it takes off across that field. But basically what I did when I shot left-handed, when I got the crosshairs on it pretty good, I just squeezed it off. I wasn't really trying to be perfect on it. And I hit the deer through both shoulders, about blowed both shoulders, slop off of it. But you'll notice in the video there, both times when I shoot, the camera actually jumps and moves. The pressure that's coming off that gun, I've got a break on that one. The pressure that's coming off that 257 Weatherby is nuts. So that's what it is. So there's another hunting video. I appreciate y'all watching. I've got something good planned for this weekend. It's going to be a interview video with somebody that, well, I got to go film it. So I hadn't done it yet. It won't post till probably next week. But something to look forward to is it's going to be good because it's going to be some cool historical stuff that's going to go back more than 30 years, maybe even a little further than 30 years, probably about 40 or more years, I guess. Some neat stuff. I've been working on putting this together for probably 2.5 months now. So I'm looking forward to it. Pretty stoked about it. So appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.